Well, the Celtics, they were able to stay alive in game 4. They were actually down half early in the third quarter, some anxious moments, and then they went on a huge run. They shot 51% from the field, 40% from three. Miami shot just 43% from the field and 25% from three. Bam wasn't very good. Butler didn't shoot very well. And for Boston, they were 18 of 45 from three. Tatum, Horford, Smart, White, and Grant Williams all hit at least 3 3-pointers. They had 5 different guys all hit 3 threes. A lot of them were good shots. A lot of them were open. But Boston at least showed a little bit of fight that we had not seen from them in prior games. It seemed like every time there was some run from Miami, there was some punch from Miami in games 1, 2, 3, Boston laid down. That wasn't the case a couple nights ago, Erik. So at least we've got one more game to talk about, and we have some plays for today. What did you think about that game and how it leads into game 5 tonight?
I'll say this, for as much as everyone wants to talk about how tough Jimmy Butler is it just me or does he end up on the ground a lot? Like he ends up on the ground a lot when you watch him play. Brown was becoming more of a facilitator. All his points was out in fast breaks. Tatum was Tatum. And the ball was moving a lot more. My biggest gripe for them has been the isolation basketball, the ball not moving. And we saw the ball move a lot more and their offense looked a lot better. So, it was good to see them finally piece it together and have everything working in the right direction because, we want to get a series. Gabe Vincent got banged up. Kevin Love's not 100%.
And Vincent's out for tonight.
Yeah.
He's not playing tonight.
Yeah, so it's just like, is this kind of like, you know what I mean? Like, are the wheels starting to fall off? Because like we talked about the narrative before in the NBA, and we can kind of already see the narrative starting to take form. Oh, the Celtics come back because the Heat got banged up. No Gabe Vincent, Kevin Love hurt, Oladipo out, Tyler Hero out. So it's going to be a little tough for the Heat to get through tonight with all their injuries and last a long series. So we'll see what happens.
This is where I don't trust Boston in a game just like this, where they're supposed to win. They're supposed to come out and play really well. And it's funny, based on your play, you don't really trust them that much either. You feel like you're going to get a good first half from them at home. But that's the one thing, Erik, overall, at home, they're 4-5 against the spread at home in these playoffs. They have not been a great home team. They've been better on the road. You play them in the first half tonight, not in the overall game.
Yeah, when you just look at the course of the season, they've been one of the better first half teams. Miami has struggled in the first half covering. I know Miami is perfect against the spread in the first half of the series, but when you look at their net ranking for the whole playoffs in the first half, the Celtics have a much better net ranking. I think the Celtics are going to be able to carry that momentum over and take care of business in the first half. And you hit the nail on the head. That's why I played the first half instead of the game. I just don't trust this team. I know they look good once, but trust is earned. It's just not given with how many games against the Hawks, the 76ers, and even this Heat team in game 2 that they've blown when they've been comfortably ahead. It's hard to trust them winning with margin. So I'm just going to take the 4.5 for the first half and then just kind of sweat out my player props.
I almost did exactly what you did with that, but you know what? I'm going to play both Miami sides here and just think that they're still a little bit undervalued in this series as an 8.5-point dog. They're plus 260 on the money line. If you want to lock them in there, like I said, this is the moment when Boston's supposed to win and supposed to start to make Miami think that they're not as good. And we actually saw this with Miami in both series, right? I feel like in game 5, we thought, oh, okay, now this is when the Bucks are going to come out and play. And I think with the Knicks, I kind of felt that way too. And that didn't happen either time. I think for Boston, what I'm really, really curious about is, are they going to be able to shoot that well again? If they shoot, they don't even have to shoot that well. If they shoot just really well, 35+% from three at high level, then it will really help. I think what you're shooting for here. This is one that we actually went in against each other, Erik, slightly against each other. You go Bam under 29.5 assists. I'm going the over 26.5, not 26.6, 26.5 points and rebounds there for Bam. Bam had his lowest scoring game of the playoffs. In his last 2 games, he's only had 8 combined rebounds, and he's only had 2 total assists in the last 2 games. So I can completely understand why you're going under, because that seems to be the trend. I think why I go the other way is I'm a little worried at Boston's ability to continue to hit the threes so much. I think like Grant Williams, for example, making threes. So when he's making threes, their team is a lot different. Just like you said, they can play smaller with a bigger guy like a Grant Williams and still play smaller. I'm going to go over the 26.5. You're going to go under the 29.5 points, rebounds, assists. And is that sort of why just some of the adjustments that
I just kind of looked at it. The first 2 games, he's been arguably second best player on the court. Now the last 2 games after games 1 and 2, he's really struggled, not shooting the ball as well, not getting the offensive
he only took
rebounds.
7 shots in his last game.
Yep. 0 factor in his distribution. You just look at it, games 3 and 4, 19. He had 19 in both. But the thing that really stood out to me is the last 2 games, he's only averaging 5.5 rebound chances per game, and he only has 4 rebounds. He's just not getting as many rebounds. We're starting to see some Grant Williams minutes, some more Al Horford minutes. And what does that do? That takes Bam away from the 10, so he's not able to get those rebounds. So I'm just going to continue with the trend here. I'm going to take the under 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists.
Yeah, straight up beer bet on Bam tonight on that one. I guess we could sort of hit it in a weird way together, but Bam is one that we will go our different ways on, but one that we're on the same side, Grant Williams. And it just feels like a Grant Williams series. Like you watch it and you could understand why he's playing, because it's not like sexy basketball out there. Grant Williams is sort of tough. And in the last 3 games, Brogdon's banged up, so he's getting more of the minutes for Brogdon. It just sort of makes sense. 27.8 minutes, 11.7 points, 3.7 rebounds, 2 assists. He's shooting 63% from 3. He's made 7 of 11. Now, he probably isn't going to make that clip, but the thing is, Erik, these are all wide open threes for him. So it's not as if he's taking like contested, really tough shots.
Yeah, and he's getting about 28 minutes a game. We've seen his minutes per game increased as the series has gone on. He's averaging 7 shots a game, 4.3 3-point attempts per game. And the main thing with them is if they do start off slow, he's bringing a lot of the energy. So Mazzulla is going to look to get him in there. Celtics have a lot of internal issues going on. Him and Mazzulla really don't like each other. Mazzulla, give him credit. He put him in the game, and he kind of has been that lifeblood. He's gone over this total 3 games that he has played with 14, 12, and 9. And he's going to get open looks. They're going to continue to leave him open. That way they can contest with Derek White, Marcus Smart, Tatum, Horford, and Brown. So Grant Williams over 7, I absolutely love.
Erik, I think you've got one more play too, right?
Yeah,
I think that was it for me. I'm Miami money line. I'm Bam over and Grant Williams. You're gonna go once again to Marcus, right?
I'm going Marcus Smart over 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Really should have got it last game. Missed it by 2. Had some open looks. Didn't get in. But you just kind of look at it. I looked at it like after in the playoffs, he hasn't gone over his points, rebounds, his assists. That next game, his total, he's averaging 27.3 points, rebounds, assists per game. You just kind of look at Marcus Smart in elimination games. 8 of his last 10 elimination games, he's gone over this total. So he's looking to attack. like I said, he had some open looks. I think he's going to continue to have open looks, and just the trend of elimination games going over this total, and the trend of performing well after not going over his points, rebounds, and assist number. I think that's going to continue. So I'll take Smart over the 22.5.
As Erik and I are chatting, we're looking at the betting lines over at DRF Sportsbook, and we encourage all of you in the state of Iowa, go right now and sign up for a DRF Sportsbook account and deposit and use the promo code FAST1000. They will give you a $1,000 deposit match with that promo code FAST1000 anywhere in the state of Iowa. More states will be coming soon. We move from DRF Sportsbook to Thrive Fantasy. We talk a little bit about the prop lobby tonight. So if you are someone who likes to play fantasy sports, daily fantasy, if you like to wager on props, go look at this website that's called thrivefantasy.com. When you sign up and when you deposit, use the promo code Gino, Gino. It'll get you a deposit match bonus from $25 all the way up to $250, and it's a 4-time rollover. So you got to play through it a little bit, but you get a bunch of credit there to play in all these games. And Erik, you can play in contests, you can play in head-to-heads, but the one thing that you and I have really sort of found our way over to is the prop lobby. And I'm going to pull it up right now on thrivefantasy.com. What's nice about this, obviously we can parlay props, we can put them together. But when you play props at most websites, at most sportsbook, when you're wagering on them, props are usually -115, -20, and above. So when you parlay them, your parlays do not pay out the way that these do. They give you bonuses. You get better payouts on these parlays. Also, someone like me who's in the state of California, because this falls under fantasy and contest, I'm actually able to play, and I'm actually able to wager legally. So it makes it fun because this isn't just betting on a team. This is contest format. So, man, not only do we have options that we don't have in other places, but they give us a better bang for your buck. When you are trying to compete with a lot of other places, that's what you have to do. You have to offer some incentives to get people over. And now you and I have been playing in this site repeatedly for the last couple months, really. And we can see the difference in the value. You notice it. You really do.
Yeah. I mean, and better odds throughout the course of time. What does that do as a gambler? It just makes your portfolio or your betting account better.
$5-10 more.
That's
every
what it's
time.
all. Yep. That's what it's all about. For me, look, two of my props are in here. So I just kind of did that. I did the Smart over the 22.5 points, rebounds, and assists, and the Bam under 29.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Those are the two ones that I parlayed today. Just kind of looking at the trends and how these guys have been playing has led me to those two.
Yep. And then for me, I went very similar to the ones we were discussing, the Bam points, rebounds. I went over on the Grant Williams points and rebounds, which was 10.5. So that parlay would get me back $32 for my $10. Erik, we may have a show on Saturday. We're not sure. We'll see what happens with Game 5 tonight. Boston trying to make this a 3-2 series. They are down 3-1. Does Miami close it out? We will find out in just a few hours. Good luck to you with all of your plays, Erik, and good luck to all of you. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. There is another game on Saturday. We will be back then. If not, when there is Game 1 of the NBA Finals, we will be back for that one. Thanks so much for hanging out with us on Fast.